If you are currently sitting at your desk nursing a lower backache and wondering if your office chair is secretly plotting your demise, then you'll want to stay tuned for this video. Today we are putting the Boulies EP500 to the ultimate test to see if it is the perfect office chair for whatever your case. Did you know that your office chair is lying to you? It promises you ergonomic bliss, space-age lumbar support, and a supportive seat. But 6 months down the road, that foam has pancaked, and your spine is just resting on that solid piece of plastic. And you start questioning all of your life choices as you try to look up local chiropractors. Trust me, I know the pain all too well. My 2 chairs before the EP500 were a mid-range Amazon chair that looked pretty cool, but it was so uncomfortable. I basically only use it for photos. And then my other one was a cheap gaming chair that made me look like I was 16 years old playing Fortnite, and it's completely falling apart on me. The armrests are literally disintegrating. Enter the Boulies EP500. This is the company's full mesh premium quality chair. And you don't have that crazy luxury tax of a premium high-end chair. On paper, it looks amazing. But, you know, in the world of tech and furniture, you don't really know until you get into it, have your hands on it, have your butt in it. And with the EP500, you don't have to take out a second mortgage just to afford comfort when you're sitting at your desk. I've been living in this thing for about a month. I work from home. I use this 8 to 12 hours a day, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I think about it. I was shocked by how sturdy all the parts felt. The assembly was super easy. Just a few screws and it was all together. The instructions were clearly explained, and I had it all together in about 20 minutes. All the pieces feel really sturdy, really well made. You can tell that they put a lot of emphasis on the quality of components that they use for these chairs. And so I give Boulies credit for the entire experience of unboxing and putting together the chair. And the best part is all the parts align perfectly, which if you've ever built furniture before, you know that isn't always the case, like that Amazon chair. And when you stand back and actually look at the assembled chair, it's pretty amazing looking. I like that they steered clear of the super aggressive race car looking seats that were so popular about 10 years ago that I have over there. The design is sleek and minimal. There's no racing stripes, no fake leather, no racing harness holes. For some reason, chairs have those right now. Instead, it's a clean, modern, understated piece of furniture that looks good behind you, especially if you're on a meeting with a client and they're not wondering if you just got back from killing noobs on Call of Duty. The heavy steel base is incredibly sturdy, and it keeps the center of gravity very low. And so you know that they didn't cheap out on the core components. The star of the show, though, especially as we're getting into the hot summer months, is the full mesh seat and full mesh back and lumbar support that's also full mesh. You get airflow throughout. If you've ever sat on a foam padded seat for more than about an hour, you know that it gets uncomfortable. It gets damp. It gets swampy. This does not happen with this chair. The mesh is taut, soft, supportive. Air flows freely across your bottom. You don't get those pressure points that come from other chairs, especially as the foam compresses. It does truly feel like you're kind of sitting on air. But here's where we need to deep dive into the ergonomics of this chair. Let's start with the absolute wins. The seat is a generous 51 centimeters wide in inches. This gives you plenty of real estate to move around in, like this. And you can adjust the actual seat depth from 46 to 50 centimeters to perfectly match the length of your thighs, which is awesome. I've never had a chair that did that. So if you're like someone who likes to sit cross-legged, you get plenty of room. You're not confined into a really tight area. You also get an adjustable backrest height that slides up and down between 70 and 74 centimeters, allow you to position the upper curve of your chair exactly where your shoulders need it, rather than just accepting it. And this heavy-duty design approach carries over directly into the chair's official size and weight limits, which Boulies clearly designed to accommodate a much broader, taller demographic than your standard office swivel chair. They officially recommend the EP500 for anyone ranging from 165 centimeters to 190 centimeters tall, which I don't know what that is, but I am in between it. And on top of that, the heavy-duty chassis and tilt mechanism are officially rated to hold a maximum capacity of 135 kilograms, or just under 300 pounds. This is great if you're taller or heavier. It fits you, unlike a lot of other chairs. And because it has a larger height and weight capacity, you don't get the chair squeaking or groaning like all of my other chairs. You can shift your weight and it handles it flawlessly. The hydraulics don't hiss or sing. The entire chair feels extremely planted to the floor. Where this chair, or I felt the most difference between my current chairs and this chair, is the lumbar support. It's not just a cheap little pillow that falls to your butt when you sit in it. It's fully supported, it has the same top mesh as the base and the back, and it aggressively pushes into that lumbar area to improve posture, and it makes it more comfortable to sit in for long periods of time. If you have a tendency to slouch, this chair really helps you prevent that. Whereas other chairs feel like they almost encourage it, even with lumbar support. It actively helps you into a proper spinal alignment. It feels incredibly deliberate and supportive, and it's adjustable. Oh yeah, just slide it. Then on top of all this, you have the reclining mechanism, which locks into 3 distinct target angles, starting from a productive 98 degrees all the way back to a deeply relaxed 126 degrees. This is paired with an extendable integrated footrest that slides out right from underneath the seat. When you pull that footrest out, flip it over, and lean all the way back, hold your weight beautifully. It feels remarkably stable, turning your workspace into a surprisingly decent spot for a midday nap, honestly. The way the mesh and the space support your weight evenly is kind of remarkable. It does feel like you're kind of floating. The headrest also supports independent height and angle adjustments, so when you kick back, you can change it on the fly. And then the armrests have 5-way adjustable movement. If you like to sit with your arms out a little bit, you're doing like a gaming session with mouse and keyboard, that's nice. If you want to tilt them in, if you're just typing, you don't feel like it's fighting you. And then also, if you like to play guitar, when you're sitting on the chair, they slide up. And so it doesn't get in the way of the neck of the guitar. Or you can put them both up. And if you slide up the armrest, you can push the chair under any sort of desk. So where does that leave us with the Boulies EP500? This has been my go-to chair, like I said, for a month. And it feels like my first grown-up chair. I've had the cheap ones. This feels like a professional chair, something that you invest in, but it doesn't have that huge sticker shock of, a $2,000 or $3,000 chair, but it still has all the features and the comfort and the build quality of a chair, much more expensive, and coming in at $310. It's more than I've spent on other chairs, but it's massively better than any other chair I've been in, and it doesn't look goofy in my environment. It feels professional, modern, grown up. And so on top of the clean look, the comfort of the airflow without it getting hot, that it doesn't get torn up like my fake leather gaming chair, and it helps my posture, and I can sit in it for a longer period of time without, having to adjust my seat or get up and walk around just to ease my comfort. That is a huge, huge benefit. I spend more time in this chair than I do anywhere else, even more than my bed. I highly recommend the Boulies EP500. What do you use? How many hours a day are you in your chair at home, especially if you work from home? And what do you think? This honestly made my life a lot easier, my work life a lot easier. Be sure to check out the link in the bio to pick up the Boulies EP500 or check out all their options. If you're new to this channel, be sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you soon. Can I promo something that I've been working on? This was the first cell phone I ever had in 1999, I believe it was, and I just bought it again. So I'm gonna do a walkthrough of that. If you're interested, be sure to subscribe, turn on notifications. I'll see you guys soon. Cheers.